The Chancellor of the Exchequer is the role in government that has more impact on housing policy and the economy than any other single role. Decisions made by the Chancellor affect lending rates, borrowing rates, stamp duty, and the economy, all of which affects the housing market. Whether or not we agree with the policies that are chosen and implemented by any given chancellor is one thing, but the one thing that we should be able to rely on is that the chancellor in post, whoever holds the post, has demonstrated a track record of honesty within their career. Outside their career, no one's business, is their private life. But during their career, if they can be shown to have been dishonest during their career, that is something that I think warrants proper formal investigation if someone has got a role as important as the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Now, I posted on X a few weeks ago initial reports that Rachel Reeves had lied on her CV. I didn't make the allegation myself. I shared the allegation made by others. It was at the website order.com. And a lot of people went, oh, you can't trust that website. Fine. But still, it's been more than once I've seen that question. Today, we get this chap who was the head of banking operations at the Lloyds banking group when Rachel Reeves was there, who's asked for this factual story to be shared. He actually posted this on LinkedIn 2 weeks ago. But this is so this man's name is Kevin Gillett. He's now retired, but he was at, let me just share this. So this is from his LinkedIn profile, which I've linked to below, so you can check for yourself. He was Director of Banking Operations at Lloyds Banking Group, which included HBOS, Halifax. All right. He was down there as well. Now let's just see what his allegation says. Can my network please share this factual story? Back in 2009, the Right Honourable Rachel Reeves, and he has actually tagged her on LinkedIn, so he's given her a dig in the ribs and said, I'm saying this about you, worked 3 levels below me. Just facts. She was a complaints support manager at Lloyds Banking Group / HBOS, Halifax Bank of Scotland, not an economist. Nearly got sacked due to an expenses scandal where the 3 senior managers were all signing off each other's expenses. Narrow escape. Then had lots of doctors / dentists visits. So she was followed. It turns out she was doing Labour Council business. When shown the facts, she resigned. And he goes on to make political observations. Okay, the rest of it is not relevant to this point. So I have linked to that post below on LinkedIn because and this guy checks out. He's on Companies House as well and on LinkedIn, and he's got his full track record there. And this is a very serious allegation, And I don't know what the parliamentary rules are, but I'm pretty sure if you can be shown to have lied on your CV and lied about your track record and your experience, then at the very, very least, some investigation should be made into this, because everyone in this country, whether they voted for her or not, deserves someone in that role who deserves to be in that role. And I would encourage any journalists out there to be asking questions of their contacts in Parliament, putting official questions to find out whether or not there should be an inquiry into this, whether or not it should be found out whether or not Rachel Reeves has actually lied on her CV, as is alleged by Kevin Gillett here. That's all. I think it's no small decision for me to have done this on my YouTube channel, but I think it's that important, and I don't think this is getting the airtime. Now, if she's investigated and found out that she didn't lie, cool, no problem. But it needs to be checked out properly. That's my view. I'd love to know what you guys think. Yes, oh God, of course she's not the first politician to lie. And the point is, when politicians lie, normally the media goes for them. Why isn't the media investigating this? Do they have evidence that she didn't lie? Do they know that this is a non-story? Someone should comment. But at the moment, it's a sort of conspicuous silence on this matter in the mainstream media. Okay. And where it's saying she lied on her CV is that she said that she was an economist. She's saying that she was an economist. That's what needs to be checked out. So I'm not making the allegations. I'm reporting someone else making the allegations. I wanted to spread it out there, get it out there, and let's get to the bottom of it. And if it's not true, then fine, we can move on and just brush this allegation aside. But I would say that someone in this position, director of banking operations at Lloyds Banking Group, it's a fairly credible allegation. All right. Yes, she was at Halifax Bank of Scotland, HBOS, is part of Lloyds Banking Group. Yeah, of course. Like, listen, I know that all politicians lie. It seems to be an unavoidable part of their job. But if you've actually been fraudulent in your application for jobs and you're put in a position of this much power, I think it warrants looking into. Patricia says GB News is talking about CV modification. Give them time to pick up on it. Free range verification says this is a nothing burger. I have only one thing to refute your argument that the press are silent. Boris Johnson. No, sorry, you make my point for me. Free range verification. Precisely because the press goes after Boris Johnson for lying correctly, they should do this too. Why haven't they? Pedal Pusher says people aren't looking into it because they don't want to get sent to the gulag. Very interesting point. So yeah, let me see. Okay, I mean, I think that it's a fairly significant allegation that Kev Gillett is making from his Lilo in his pool in Portugal, which he talks about there on his CV. I think it's a fairly, maybe it comes to nothing. Should it be checked out? Yes. Anyway, that